Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back to my channel, my Loverlies. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I am so happy you found me. I do so hope that you will like and subscribe before you leave. Become part of the Mama family. Mama's got your back, at least where makeup's concerned, and definitely when that makeup is cheap. Today is True Love Tuesday. I love, love, love filming this video every single week. I love doing the research. I love telling you guys the story. I really hope you guys enjoy listening to them as much as I enjoy filming them. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Go down yet another vein of this insane emotion that we call love. We're going to talk about something a little bit spiritual, something a little bit more unrequited, something just a little different, and I'm really excited for it. We're going to talk about Dante and Beatrice this week. This is a video that I think is going to be so much fun. Also, I think it's something that not everybody has heard of, maybe, so it'll definitely be something new to you, hopefully. So we're going to talk about them. I'm going to, of course, be doing my makeup while I tell you this story. We're going to be doing this really beautiful green and gold eye. She is so very pretty. Oh, I am so into her. I've been trying to stagger the more colorful, loud looks with something a little bit more neutral. So the last eye look I did was that really beautiful neutral neon cut crease eye. It was so incredibly beautiful. Today we're doing something a little bit darker, a little bit more moody, definitely maybe a little bit more wearable as well. We're going to be using the Beauty Bay Brights 2.0 palette. I actually unboxed this in my last Beauty Bay haul. I love this palette so much. It is such a artistry driven kind of palette. It sparks my creativity. It inspires me. I love all of the creamy dreamy mattes in here, and then the sparkly spectacular shimmers. So good. We're going to be playing with this today. I probably won't be talking about everything that I'm using too awful much, but I will of course list it in the description box below, along with the tags to my other social medias. I always post finished look pictures over on Instagram and Facebook. So if you guys are not following me over there, definitely make sure you go do that. I post fun content every single day. Make sure you're following so you don't miss a single thing. And without further ado, we're going to dive right into the story. Guys, I've tried to film this video a couple of times now. I am so very sick that I keep getting tongue twisted. My brain just goes and doesn't do anything, and it just blanks for a minute. I'm not restarting again. So if I just kind of sit here and stare blankly for just a second, please work with me. I am trying so hard. So Dante and Beatrice. Now, this is one of those stories that is a little bit more symbolic, because there isn't an actual relationship per se. Dante he met this woman. We'll start off with Dante. So Dante was born in Florence. He was born in the year 1265, and he was a lovesick fool just from the get-go. And he met Beatrice when he was 9 years old. Now, his father took him to Beatrice's father's home for a month of May party, like a month of May festivities. And he met her there. Now, he was 9 and she was 8 years old. And the entire time, his entire life, he only met Beatrice a handful of times, maybe 3 or 4 times in total. But the very first time that he met her, and the very first time he set eyes on her, he instantly knew that she instantly became his idealized interpretation of feminine perfection. She was everything that a woman should be, could be, needs to be, was capable of. She was everything. She became this untouchable, unreachable, unattainable goddess that he kept on a pedestal that was to be seen and not touched, right? So he meets her at 9 and instantly is just completely and totally besotted. And this gets his mind going. and this gets his blood running and his heart pumping, and this is what kickstarts his poetic, his I don't even know how to say it, his incredible poetic just intensity, right? So he is a very well-known, probably the most famous poet to come out of Florence. He is responsible for La Vita Nova and The Divine Comedy, both of which star Beatrice. He's also synonymous with Dante's Inferno. Beatrice is also in Dante's Inferno. She plays, she becomes his salvation and his savior. She's the one that leads him to heaven. So, either way, in all of his works, she is a very important person, right? Now, what is so odd about their relationship is the fact that they didn't have one, essentially. Now, Beatrice sadly died very young. She died at the age of 24. Not sure how or what she died of, but she did die very young. But even though throughout her life, she lived a life very, like, completely separate of Dante. She married and had children of her own. And as did Dante. Dante married a wife and had children of his own as well. And then on top of that, he had love affairs with different muses and things like that. So she wasn't the only woman in his life, but she did turn out to be the most important. And she became the most important because I believe she was so untouchable. She became this, like I said, this idea, right? More so than being a woman. I don't even think the flesh and blood woman was so important as the image and the idea of her that he held in his mind. And because he was such a prolific poet, there are many quotes that I have from him that I want to talk to you guys and tell you guys today, because he's just so eloquent, and the way that he speaks about this woman, I really feel like says so much about the way that he viewed her and the way that he thought of just her in general. So I do want to read you guys this real quick. So this is what he wrote on meeting her for the first time. I felt a spirit of love begin to stir in my heart, long time unfelt till then, and saw love coming towards me, fair and fain, that I scarce knew him for his joyful cheer, saying, be now indeed my worshipper. So basically he's saying the minute he met her, the minute he set eyes on her, he instantly fell to his knees, and she instantly had this perfect visage of just, I'm not as eloquent as he is, but it's intense. It is so intense. And I can't imagine inspiring that kind of complete and total awe in someone, so much so that they instantly liken me to a deity, right? They liken me to not am I just beautiful, not am I just stunning or smart or funny. I am instantly divine, right? Could you imagine? It is so incredibly intense. And like I said, she married and she had children, and he married and he had other loves, but nobody ever quite reached, nobody ever was quite enough, right? And nobody even really knows if Beatrice was indeed a real woman or not, though they believe that they did find out that she was real, and they only met a couple of times, but on the second time that he met her, They were at a market, and she willingly gave him her salutation, which basically is saying she said, "Oh, hi, I know you. Hi." That's all she did. And he completely lost his mind. Completely and totally lost his mind. I have so much here, so many quotes that I really want to read you guys, just because I could never, ever explain to you how this man felt about this woman, other than to tell you in his own words. So I'm trying to find the quote because I have so many here. "Beyond the sphere which spreads to widest space, now soars the sigh that my heart sets above. A new perception born of grieving love guideth it upwards to untrodden ways." And there he's talking about Beatrice's death. Basically saying he's never felt sorrow like this. He's never felt pain and sadness quite the way that her passing has, kind of cursed him with. And yeah, okay. So the second time. So this is the time that he met her at the market, and she was with her friends, and she looked to Dante and willingly gave him her salutation. And the elation that he felt at her willingly saying, "Hi, I know you," was so profound that he ended up actually writing a verse about it. And that verse goes as follows. It says, "A gentle train of ladies met my view, this All Saints' feast that has just but passed by, and one advanced before them as their chief, leading with her upon the right hand, love." So basically saying she waved at him, and just this complete and total flood of, we all know, we all kind of know what that feels like. You have a crush on someone, and they kind of acknowledge your existence, and you're like, oh, the clouds have parted, right? That's basically what he's saying. But the fact that she was with her friends and still acknowledged him was a very big thing to him. And he also said that when she was away, it caused such a great pain to him. A pain that it was like something he had never known before. Though when he was near her, he became a stuttering dolt. So basically he was so shy that all he did was pine for her when she was gone. But then when she came near, all he could do was run away, because he didn't know how to confront the sheer weight of his emotion and the sheer volume of affection that he had for her, right? And that was on meeting her at the All Saints feast. Then he says, "My lady looks so gentle and so pure, when yielding salutation by the way, that the tongue trembles and has naught to say, and the eyes which fain would see may not endure." So I'm going to read that one more time because that was bad. "My lady looks so gentle and so pure, when yielding salutation by the way, that the tongue trembles and has naught to say, and the eyes which fain would see may not endure." So basically just saying exactly what I did. The fact that she just kind of willingly said hello, just shows her kindness, right? So not only was she beautiful, but she was good. She was good, and she was kind, and she was all that was soft and feminine and warm in the world, right? So upon her back, he's placing there's so much pressure on his image of her in his mind, that there was no room for the actual woman, right? There was no room to actually know her. Because if he would have actually known her, then the image of her might not have met the perceived perfection of her, right? So in order to be able to sustain this amazing, just complete and total divinity that is her goodness, right? He can't know her. He has to run away. And because there's so much pressure in his mind, and so much, she is so important to him, that when she does open up the conversation, or does acknowledge him, that his brain just short circuits. It fries, like, it just is done. It's not usable. It's not even a brain. It's a pile of mush. And he has to run away. His tongue doesn't work. His brain doesn't work. And the only thing he can do is run away screaming. Which I think is equal parts sad and cute, maybe. I don't know. There is just so much pain to this man. He never, because he has made her this, his perfection, it leaves a place in his heart that can't be filled, that can't be touched, because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, right? His view of her, it doesn't exist. So he spends the rest of his life chasing and longing for this divine feminine perfection that he has essentially imagined. Because no woman can live up to the perfection that he has daydreamed into existence, right? So, like I said, she lived a life completely and totally separate of Dante. And the next time that he sees her is from afar on her wedding day. And this affected him greatly as well. And he ended up writing a verse about this event as well. And this one you can kind of see the sadness, but also the happiness, I think, that she is happy. Like, he doesn't want her to be alone. He doesn't want her to just kind of wither away. Like, he understands that she is a woman and that she too needs to experience and live. So he says this about her. He says, "My lady carries love within her eyes. All that she looks on is made pleasant. Upon her path men turn to gaze at her. He whom she greeteth feels his heart to rise." So basically what he's saying is, anywhere she turns, anywhere she goes, she brings joy. Any man who is on the receiving end of even the smallest thing, as much as her smile, is granted a gift, right? Her warmth and joy flow from her fingertips like water from the river. I'm trying to be poetic because it's just so moving to me. But yeah, I'm going to read that one more time. He says, "My lady carries love within her eyes. All that she looks on is made pleasanter. Upon her path men turn to gaze at her. He whom she greeteth feels his heart to rise." He is so infatuated with her that just even seeing a smile upon her face is like a gift for him, right? I just think it is so incredibly beautiful. And I also enjoy that he is not saddened by the fact that she's living her life. I enjoy very much that he is happy for her. I enjoy very much that he is not trying to make her into this kind of like nun, right? He understands that she is a flesh and blood woman, and he understands that in order for her to be happy, these are things that she must do, and his happiness is not all that matters. I just, it's his love is selfish in the fact that he has made her into this perfect object, right? Because in his mind, she is not a woman. She's not flesh and blood. She's, like I said, this very much this goddess, this untouchable feminine figure. But then when he sees her in real life, it's more of like a just enjoying watching her do things, enjoying her watching her live her life, and just enjoying watching her smile and getting joy from things that bring her joy. I love that, right? I love that aspect of this whole thing, of this whole story. And is there more to that? Into thy hands, sweet lady of my soul, the spirit that is dying I commend, and which departs so sorrowful, that love views it with pity while dismissing it. So, like I said, Beatrice died really, really young. She died at the age of 24. And again, this is heartbreaking for Dante. This is like the worst thing that could have ever possibly happened, because his muse is no longer on Earth. And now, instead of being a goddess on Earth, she is quite literally an angel, right? And whereas she was untouchable but seeable before, she is now untouchable and not present, right? So he's broken. He is broken. His infatuation, his single greatest desire is no longer, it's just gone, right? And he is completely and totally crushed. And then to not even have, it's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. I'm going to read that one more time. Into thy hands, sweet lady of my soul, the spirit that is dying I commend, and which departs so sorrowful, that love views it with pity while dismissing it. Upon a day came sorrow into me, saying, I've come to stay with thee a while. And I perceived that she had ushered bile and pain into my house for company. Her death literally made him sick. It literally was a physical pain that he almost couldn't handle. It literally, like he said, sorrow, upon a day, sorrow into me. Upon a day came sorrow into me, saying, I've come to stay with thee a while. Basically saying, I will never get over this pain. I will never recuperate from your loss. And I perceived that she had ushered bile and pain into my house for company, saying that now that she's gone, the only things he has to keep him company are pain and basically, nausea, sickness. Like, without her there's no joy left. There's no longer any happiness. There's nothing good left in the world to balance out the pain that her absence is causing him. And for him to feel such intense and physical, for him to have such an intense and physical reaction to the death of someone that he really didn't even know, right? Because, again, she wasn't a part of his life. She was not somebody that he knew personally. She was not someone that, he knew her, but she was not someone that was part of his intimate family or even his intimate life. She was more or less a symbol, right? And now that she's gone, there's nothing left to him. There is nothing left of life. There's no joy. The sun will never shine again. His pain and sorrow have darkened his doorway, and he can't see past them. He can't see a point where they are not going to be his fondest friends forevermore. And oh, okay. So I have one more. This video is almost over, but I'm guiding him through heaven. So, like I said, he wrote La Vita Nova and the Divine Comedy, and both of those are compiled of poems and prose that he had written about Beatrice. But in one of Dante's last works, the Dante's Inferno, she comes back because, of course, she's gone and she's passed on. So she comes back and he is dying, and she becomes his guiding light. She becomes his. I want to say this. She becomes his salvation, his gentilissima. So gentilissima means most kind. She becomes his Benedetta, which means blessed. She becomes the person that guides him through the levels of hell and helps him to gain entrance into heaven. She is his savior and his salvation and his greatest desire, all wrapped into one. And that's a really intense thing. It's a really intense thing to feel for anybody, let alone to feel for a woman that you really just don't know, right? And one of the last things that I have written here is he says, "So from before mine eyes did Beatrice chase every mote with radiance of her own, that cast its light 1,000 miles and more." So basically, let me read that one more time. "So from before mine eyes bid Beatrice chase every mote with radiance of her own, that cast its light 1,000 miles and more." And that was on her guiding him through heaven. And basically that's saying that even in death, her radiance and her goodness and her kindness still, it chases away every speck of darkness. It brightens and warms, and the radiance just kind of seeps into his soul and chases away sadness and darkness, and becomes this doorway and kind of guides him to a joy unknown to him before. I just think that it is so really beautiful. It is such a gorgeous story. I know perhaps a little bit very, very different from the love stories that we've spoken about thus far, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this story. Have you heard of Dante and Beatrice before? If you guys haven't, are you interested? Would you like to know more? I probably am not going to talk about this again, but if you guys do end up looking a little bit more into it, or if you even thought it was a little bit interesting, I would love to know in the comments. I just think that this kind of love, and it's very unrequited, but it's not unrequited in a way that turns to bitterness and hate. It was unrequited in a way that was almost, it was almost divine in its pureness, right? It was truly just thanking this person for existing, thanking this person for being the spark in this man's life, the joy, right? I just thought it was really, really beautiful. I, of course, got caught up in the story and didn't finish my eye, but I will, as always, be posting finished pictures over on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. Definitely go check it out over there. Everything that I'm going to use for this eye look will be in the description box below. And if you have any questions, please just shoot me a comment and I will get back to you. As always, no filters, no edits, no fancy lighting. It's just me sitting in front of my camera, playing with some makeup, delving into a little bit of poetry, hoping you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. My beautiful, amazing loverlies, until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important. Bye.